Writers, welcome back to Read, Write, Roar. It's Mrs. Spear again, joining you today. The last time that we were here, we started talking about writing a story, a narrative story, talking about an experience related to a specific topic. That's what we're writing about. Here's what we want to think about. Our topic needs to be about a time when the daytime or nighttime sky is an important part of a story in your life. Did you think about some things since the last time we were together? If not, that's okay. I'm going to be walking you through the process of how you pick the story you want to write about. And as I'm doing that, you keep thinking about what you might want to write about. Since the last time we met, I had to do some good thinking as a writer and decide what's going to be really important for me to write about that's really going to be connected well to this story. So what I'm going to do right now is read down my list with you of all the things I thought I could write about, and then we're going to cross some out if they don't make sense. So the first one I had was Downpour in Mount Pleasant. My second idea was Mother-Son Blizzard story. The third idea, Sunrise at the Cabin. Loved thinking and watching as I just watch sunrises. I think about so many things. Cows Laying in a Field, Mean Rain was another one I thought could be connected. Lightning Strike on Vacation, that was a story I thought could be really fun to write about. Pedal Boat Disaster on Otsego Lake, up here in Gaylord, Michigan. Late Bedtime in June in Michigan, really stays light out quite late. And the last brainstorm idea was Otsego Lake State Park Day. So here's the questions I need to ask myself. I put together a little list. The first thing I need to do is say, do I know the story well? Do I know who? That's my characters. Do I know the characters that are going to be in my story? Do I know what? Can I really tell you what was happening in that? Do I know how I felt when that was happening? Okay, so that's something I needed to really think about. And as I was doing that, I thought, I really can't say that I have a specific story that would work well enough about cows laying in a field meaning rain, and I'm not really sure it's going to be well connected enough. So I'm going to just X this out. I might write about this another time, but for today, that's not going to be the one that I write about. Then I had to think, is this really connected to the important question? Question number 2. Is it connected to the important question, a time related to the daytime and nighttime sky? Very important to the story. So when I thought about that, I was thinking, I don't think that the Downpour in Mount Pleasant is best related to that. The sky got dark and it's a really good story, but I don't think that one's going to be best either to write about, even though that was a really fun time. As I was thinking some more, another question I thought about is, will it help me share the importance of the daytime or nighttime sky and share a personal story? So as I'm sharing a personal story with you, I have to know it well. I have to have it really connected to the story, and it's really going to have to help me teach about the daytime and the nighttime sky. So as I thought about that, I was thinking, I have a lot to say about the lightning strike on vacation. I could tell you who, what, how I felt, but I just don't think it's going to be the right story to help me fit what I need to do. I also started thinking about that with this one, Pedal Boat Disaster on Otsego Lake. That's a great story for me to write about. I know where I was, I know how it felt, I know who was with me, but really the daytime and nighttime sky and the time of year isn't really going to be that important in this story. So that one is just not going to work this time either. I kept on thinking and I thought, this late bedtime in June, that is something important about the time of year. The thing is, I couldn't really think of a really good story, a really good time that could help me communicate with you and show through my story both my experience about a late bedtime in June and then also be able to relate it really well to the daytime and nighttime sky being really important at the time. So I also decided that one's not quite right. So this is leaving me with a few more ideas here. The Mother-Son Blizzard, Sunrise at the Cabin, and Otsego Lake State Park Day. Now, sunrise at the cabin, I watch sunrises at the cabin all the time. And it's definitely an important part of the day when the sun is rising, but I don't have a specific enough story. Remember, I need to be able to know a specific story well enough to say who and what and how I felt. Who was there, the characters, what was happening, and then how I felt. So that one is going to be crossed out too. Okay, everybody, this leaves me with 2 ideas. The story about the time I went to a mother-son dance with my son, and there was a blizzard when we got out of that, and another story about Otsego Lake State Park Day. I was thinking about both of these. I know this story really well, being at this place with my son, and I could tell you who was there, what it was really like, and how I felt. But then I started to think more about this day, Otsego Lake State Park Day. And on this day, my whole family was there. I can describe it well. I can almost feel being there right now. And what happened was really in the important part that we're trying to talk about, a daytime and a nighttime sky. And when that's happening during the year was really important to this story. So I'm going to save this story for another time. And I am checking this story the time that I was at Otsego Lake State Park in Gaylord, Michigan with my family. So writers, what we've done today is we looked at our list of things we brainstormed, and then we really thought about what's important. We as writers have a job to do, to communicate a story that we are excited to write about, that's going to keep us motivated to keep writing, that we know really well, and that's going to help us teach about a time when the daytime and nighttime sky in the year is really important. So now it's your job to start thinking about that. Take a moment to think about this, and I'm going to review the questions that you're going to need to answer to be able to write your own story where you are. Let's do that now. Okay, writers, now it's your turn. Take a look at that list that you wrote down. You wrote down topics. Those were the things that you thought you could write about that have to do with our story that we're going to do on when the daytime or nighttime sky is important. Here's the first question that you want to think about. Number 1, which topics really have important parts related to the daytime or nighttime sky? So if they're a fun story, but they're not really about something with the daytime or nighttime sky, kind of like me with cows laying in a field, cross it off. You don't want to use that one. The second question, when you look at your list, which topics are related to the sky and why it was that way during that time of the year? I remember talking with you about the downpour, for instance, in Mount Pleasant. That was a great story. I could remember who and what and where and exactly how I felt. But when I thought about it, really, it wasn't important for that specific time of year. So I didn't want to use that one. Okay, number 3. Which topics do I remember well enough to write a story about? You really have to know it well. Do I remember who? Your characters. Who was there? How I felt? And what it looked like. So what it looked like, can you picture it in your mind so that you'll be able to write about it? You also need to know the where, of course, right? Like, what's your setting? The one I chose, the setting is going to be at Otsego Lake State Park. That's my where. And the what? It's going to be quite the adventure when I share that with you about the weather taking a turn. The last thing, after you know that you're excited, it's related to the daytime, nighttime sky, it'll help us learn about that time of year. Again, because this is connected to our science topic. The last thing, which story am I excited to write about that will help me think about the importance of the daytime or nighttime sky? Really want to be excited about it, okay? And then remember, way back when we first started talking, who will I share my story with? You need to have an audience. You want to make sure that there's someone that you're excited to share this story with to help them learn about you and your experience, but also about the daytime and nighttime sky at a certain time of year. Hey learners, we're going to play a little game right now. Get your thinking caps on. We're thinking about writing. We want to be making sure the topics that we pick have to do with the subject we're supposed to write about. We're supposed to be writing about something that has to do with a time when the daytime or nighttime sky is an important part of a story in your life. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to read one of these things, and you're going to give a thumbs up if it does have to do with the daytime or nighttime sky, and if it would be a good idea to choose for your topic. Or you're going to choose a thumbs down if it wouldn't have to do with the daytime or nighttime sky. Here we go. First idea. Walking home as the sun is setting. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Yes, thumbs up. Walking home as the sun is setting could have a good story to do with the daytime or nighttime sky. Let's read the next one. Eating in the cafeteria at school. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Would this be a story to do with the daytime or nighttime sky? Thumbs down, right? That wouldn't have to do with that topic. How about this one? Going for a hike when I hear thunder. Thumbs up, thumbs down? Which one? Yes, thumbs up. That would have something to do with the daytime or the nighttime sky. Last one. Looking for my lost toy. Thumbs up, that would have something to do with the daytime or nighttime sky, or thumbs down? You got it, thumbs down. So when you're thinking about your topic to write about, do this in your mind too. Is it a thumbs up, a story that has to do with the daytime or nighttime sky, or is it a thumbs down? Might be a great story, but not one to do with our topic. Keep thinking about what you write about.
This program is made possible in part by the Michigan Department of Education, the State of Michigan, and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. Additional support by viewers like you. Thank you.